Okay, it's September 14th, 2024, and I'm with Mr. John J. Jeckovich, and we're reading his book, Their Mother's Sons. Their Mother's Sons is approximately 900 pages. We're on page 496, chapter 17, and this chapter is titled News of Renee's Tragic Death. At this time, Mr. Jeckovich is still a very young man in his early 20s, and he's already served his time in World War II, finally at the Battle of the Bulge, in which he received a Purple Heart and 2 Bronze Stars.
I'm going to check John's mail.
Yeah, the war is officially over with now, and so he made it back home to take care of his mother at 3063 Orleans Avenue, Niagara Falls,
Niagara Falls.
Okay, Mr. Jeckovich, what was your dog tag number?
42069.
You have a great memory. You have a great memory. Mr. Jeckovich was in Company H, 2nd Battalion, 291st Regiment of the 75th Infantry Division of the U.S. Army during World War II. Mr. Jeckovich was in the final stages of the Battle of Bulge. He entered initially with Patton in December of 1944 when Hitler caught everyone off guard, and it was a very bloody war with great casualties on the American side. At this time, Mr. Jeckovich got shot in the shoulder by a sniper, and a bomb overhead had shrapnel still in his leg. So he was sent over to Paris to recover, and he was in hospitals in Paris for 2 or 3 months approximately, and he met this very lovely lady named Renee. Renee was a cloistered nun that left the monastery due to the fact that her beautiful mother and father were killed by the Nazis. They were young people, and Renee's 2 brothers were killed and tortured by the Nazis. At this time, Nazis have taken over Paris, and it was controlled by the Nazis. So she left. She went home to a little studio in Paris, and she actually joined the French resistance. Once she was a great artist too. She painted Mr. Jeckovich's portrait. Do you know where that portrait is today?
Where is it? I don't know. Where is this?
What kind of art? What kind of portraits did you see in Renee's studio?
They weren't portraits. They were paintings.
Of what?
German officers, top SS officers.
Okay, possibly SS. And did you ever go to the headquarters of the French resistance with Renee? Did she take you underground?
Yeah, it was a smelly place.
What was wrong with it?
Well, there was a sewer where it slid in Paris, dumped all the junk.
Okay, so it ends this way. This chapter is titled that it's News of Renee's Tragic Death. What basically happened, to sum it up, there's a lot of stories in between, but we'll get to the summary of it. Renee, as she was a member now of the French resistance, the Nazis got wind of it. She was painting all their portraits and doing a fine job of it to gather information. They found out what she was up to, and she was tortured and murdered, and that was the end of that. That's why this chapter is titled News of Renee's Tragic Death, and Mr. Jeckovich is already back in the States at this time. Did you tell anyone in the States about Renee's tragic death?
Oh, tell anyone?
Yeah.
Now, who would I tell?
Your brothers?
Well, they wouldn't be interested.
Okay.
Nah.
Okay, well,
who's she? Who's she?
Just like Mr. Jeckovich is a combat veteran of World War II, front line, no rear echelon, and he didn't tell people he was in a war until 2 years ago. So that's the story. I think the rear echelon guys that did the typing and the inventory for parts and equipment were doing a lot of storytelling for the last 50 years, but the guys that actually were on the front line, got shot up, got wounded, released many prisoners of war, and also released many Holocaust victims from these death camps, didn't really want to talk about it. So I think this is a situation. Keep in mind, there were 16,400,000 young men and women that served in World War II. Now we're down to 100,000. We're down to 100,000. And out of 100,000 of World War II veterans left, there's approximately 7,000 that are combat veterans. All the rest were rear echelon. They probably never seen.
Yeah.
They never seen a war, right? They were like your brother. Your brother was rear echelon.
He just teach me how to drive Jeeps.
He taught you how to drive Jeeps.
And locally with the Coast Guard.
In Coast Guard. But the ironic story about your older brother, who was appointed to teach people how to drive Jeeps in the States, you told me he failed his first driver's test.
Yeah, and he's a fire hydrant. He's a fire hydrant.
So the government appointed him to be a Jeep instructor.
Yeah, top kick. Yeah.
Okay, all right. That's how it goes in the military. You're not going to get away from that. So there's about 7,000 actual combat vets left, and most of them are in the late 90s or early hundreds at this time. By the way, it's quite a feat. Mr. Jeckovich is knocking on the door of 100 years old, and it's quite a feat on itself to get to be 100. If you're 40, you have a 10% now. If you're 40 years old now, you have about a 10% chance to make it to 100. That's how tough it is to get to 100. And Mr. Jeckovich, not only that, he didn't have an easy life. He was shot up, beat up, stabbed, bombed at, you name it, trench foot. He had
damn trench foot's bothering me now.
Yeah, frostbite.
Tonight, when the temperature goes down, I get it.
You want some aspirin right now?
No, I don't know aspirin, no.
Okay,
no.
Mr. Jeckovich, by the way, has never took a prescription in his life, not even a vitamin. Mr. Jeckovich had two doctors, his left leg and his right leg. Mr. Jeckovich had two doctors, his left leg and his right leg. He jogged for 80 long years, and finally his knees gave out. When your knees gave out, you're pretty well screwed, because you're restricted to a wheelchair. But he could see well, he could read the newspaper without glasses. His handshake will bring it down to the ground. He's in perfect health, except his knees blew out. And it was an interesting story. When Mr. Jeckovich started jogging, it was not fashionable. He jogged in his old corduroy pants and probably a nasty old t-shirt. And he'd be jogging all over Niagara Falls, New York, and people would yell out to him, "Hey, can't you afford a car?" or throw a beer can at him.
Hey, jerk, get off the street.
And what did they say?
Huh?
What else did they say? What did you just say?
I just waved to him.
And what did they say to you? You said, "Hey,
Hey,
jerk."
jerk, get off the street.
Or they'd say, "Hey, jerk, get off the street." So an interesting thing, all those people that didn't understand or weren't educated on what a wonderful thing jogging is to your health, and well-being, they're probably all pushing up daisies. But it certainly was not fashionable at the time to be a jogger. And an interesting fact, when they threw beer cans at them, those are the beer cans where the pull-up top would come off. Now they stay on the can. That's how long ago he was jogging. Did you have many problems with dogs when you were jogging?
With dogs?
Chasing you?
No, I jogged in Alabama. Alabama was kind of
No dogs?
Huh?
No dogs?
No dogs, no.
I see. I just seen on the way here, oh, by the way, we're filming on an underground bunker. There's not much lighting in here. We're doing our best with a generator, 6,000 volt generator. But on the way here, I seen a lot of people jogging. That's fashionable now, of course. I see a lot of people jogging now with these fancy multicolored jogging clothes, very expensive sneakers, water bottles. They have some type of tickers.
Little radios.
They had radios. Did you eventually jog like that?
No, I went with t-shirt, pair of pants.
So you never got into this very expensive
No, I
jogging
then a pair of sneakers.
And that worked well for you.
Yeah.
So would you ever wrap a water bottle around your waist?
No.
Would you ever wear a radio and listen to it?
No.
So you never went to go to these high dollar stores and buy yourself a very expensive jogging suit. That wasn't you.
Yeah.
You just wanted
Pair
to
of
run.
pants and a t-shirt.
You just wanted to run, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What made you start jogging, by the way?
I read a book. I can't think of the author's name.
Okay, and what did you read?
He says it's the best condition for your body is to keep a steady run.
Yeah.
Run every day. Not run and stop, not run and stop. Set a goal for so many miles and then increase the miles, but don't stop and go. Don't stop and go.
Do you miss jogging?
Huh?
Do you miss jogging?
Oh, yeah.
Did you?
Is that mail today?
Yeah, we'll go over it later. Did you later in life join gyms?
I never did. No, I never went YMCA or nothing, no.
So you basically stuck to jogging.
Yeah.
Did you smoke?
No.
This interesting fact during World War II, the military was passing out packs of cigarettes like candy.
Well, the Red Cross does that too.
Yeah, the Red Cross was passing out cigarettes like candy, and if the young guys didn't die of the enemy's weapon, 20, 30 years later, they most probably died of lung cancer, the addiction. Then when you're being released from the service, it was on a point system. With this point system, what type of camps were you staying at? What were they called?
Camp Upton, Camp New York, Camp Philadelphia, Camp New York, Camp New Jersey.
How about the cigarette camps?
Pall Mall, Lucky Strike and that, yeah.
Which camp were you in? What cigarette?
I think Pall Mall.
Pall Mall. And keep in mind, all those cigarettes back then, Chesterfield, Pall Mall, Lucky Strikes, they were all non-filtered, short non-filters, so they were really potent. So did just about all the soldiers that you were in World War II with smoke?
Oh, yeah.
It was a good, but what happens if you're in a trench hole? You're in a trench and a young soldier would start smoking. Wouldn't that be a...
Well, that's a telltale. That smoke will go maybe 50 feet and the drillers will pick that smoke up.
You think that happened a lot?
Yeah, oh, yeah. They were not allowed to smoke.
Not allowed to smoke. And then also, Mr. Jeckovich never drank. Is that correct? You never drank liquor either. Is that correct? You never drank liquor. Is that correct?
No, no.
Okay. So you had a pretty clean lifestyle, and you're knocking on the door of 100, and we all commend you for that, especially all the things you went through. And not only did you implement jogging in your life, but you worked at a plant called Kimberly-Clark for 35 years. Did your car ever take you to that plant?
The what?
Did you ever drive to Kimberly-Clark?
No, I walked.
For 35 years?
Yeah.
How about through a blizzard, snow blizzard?
Put my weather shoes on and go.
I like that. All right, so no car of yours has ever been in that parking lot?
No.
That's interesting.
Kimberly-Clark,
Yeah.
NITEC now.
Okay. So that's where we stand, and we're going to start reading his book on page 496. The news of Renee's tragic death, and this is when Mr. Jeckovich is home. And let's see, this chapter goes quite a while. Geez, this thing goes about 30 more pages. We'll see what we can do. So, do you want me to start reading, or you want to start reading?
No, go ahead.
You want to say anything about this chapter before I read?
No.
I hear vibrations. Is that a train above?
Maybe.
A vibration?
You feel vibrations?
No. You feel a vibration?
Yeah, I think that might be a train.
You're not dizzy or anything, are you?
No, I know vibrations.
I don't feel a vibration.
All right, then maybe
You feel vibration?
I do sometimes.
it maybe came and went. It could be a
Well, the
train.
fourth spring is,
It could be a
not
train.
well conditioned, no. Not well built.
Okay, so here we go. Yeah, this bunker is not well built. Okay. I said something unrelated to her question, but did not mention how to tell her how well she looked. Okay. As we came to the point where she would turn off the head for work, we stopped for a moment. I looked at her as she spoke, and I could see that her whole attitude has changed. She was more relaxed and less defensive, and she kept on peering at me as if she was really seeing me for the first time. Now we're talking about Rose.
Rose Kamensky. Yeah.
Rose Kamensky. Did she also speak with a broken Polish accent?
No, she didn't, no.
Did her parents?
Both, yeah.
Okay. And this is Rose, Mr. Jeckovich's fourth girlfriend, and he met at the Kimberly-Clark plant. I was so preoccupied with her change in demeanor that I did not ask when I might see her again. As we parted, she turned and asked me, smiling, "May I see you tonight for a couple hours before you go to work?" I quickly said yes and shouted over her shoulder as she hurried off 7 o'clock at my house. I looked after her as she practically ran down the street, turning and waving at me several times. I was flabbergasted at the turn of events, but excited at the prospect of seeing Rose tonight. I was slightly flattered and at the same instant wondering if I was incorrect about my perception of her. What was your perception of her? You said you might be incorrect about your perception of Rose.
Perception?
What did you think
her
of Rose?
personality?
Yeah, what did you think of Rose?
Well, she was vindictive because she didn't want to be a millhead wife. She didn't want to copy her mother and father.
So she wanted to be with an office worker.
Yeah, and
Someone
what she
that-
did, she married an office worker there with the Wisconsin.
Someone with a suit and tie.
Yeah.
Okay. As I was going out tonight before work, I had to find some tangible excuse to give Mother for my going out. I finally settled on the ruse that I had to attend a union meeting. Did you ever attend a union meeting in your life?
No, no.
But you would tell your mother you were attending union meetings just to get out of the house, correct?
No, I don't think, no, I don't, no, my mother didn't worry about getting out of the house. She worried about looking, not me.
Okay. Okay, let's see. Which I never did, but it served the purpose. I got up early in the afternoon and did some chores around the house, thinking of all the while seeing Rose that night. I picked up Mother from work at 4 p.m. and waited around the house until supper time, grabbing a quick shave. By the way, how's that new electric work?
That works good.
Yeah, you look
I
well.
need a shave now.
You look well. You got
Every second day I shave.
Yeah, look well, you got your nails done, you got a
Yeah.
haircut, you got new clothes on, you're looking very nice, Mr. Jeckovich.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what happens here. Okay, I picked Mother up from work at 4 p.m., waited around the house until supper time. When you picked up your mother from Carborundum, did she also bring her girlfriends with her for you to drive them home?
No.
Why didn't your mother work at Kimberly-Clark?
Well, she had several jobs. She worked the Kresge's. She worked for Dr. Wright, his wife, in an exclusive house off Fall Street. And she did a lot of stuff.
You think that house is still there?
Oh, yeah, they're well built.
Well built.
Yeah.
3-4 stories?
2-story.
2-story?
That's how I had a nice little dollhouse in the back.
How about a basement?
Basement was clean. Yeah, we did a lot of work in the basement.
Didn't your father work there too, and doing construction work with you at some of those nicer
No,
houses?
he was a truck driver.
Okay. All right, here we go. Let's see.
Petullo. Joe Petullo.
Rose that night, I picked up Mother from work at 4 p.m. and waited around the house until supper time. Minutes, please?
11.
Grabbing a quick shave and all the while thinking of where to take Rose for several hours before I had to go to work. So let me see if I understand this. You're going to go to work at midnight and you're going to pick Rose up for a few hours before you go to work.
Yeah.
That's kind of pressed. Let's see. As I stopped in front of Rose's house, she ran out. What did the outside of Rose's house look like?
It was on Royal Avenue. It was a mediocre house. Plain house at that time. At that time.
Built in the early 1900s?
Yeah.
Yeah. A basement?
Had a basement, yeah. Most of those houses have basements, yeah.
And her parents probably lived there to the day they died,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. As I stopped in front of Rose's house, she ran out, and before I could get the door open for her, she was in a front seat sitting next to me. I could smell her perfume. As she sat next to me, her skirt went up above the knees, displaying more of her elegant legs. She greeted me warmly, and she seemed completely relaxed and pleased to be here with me. "Where would you like to go?" I blurted out, thinking more of her mood and behavior than of any place to go. "Let's drive around for a while," she answered. "We really don't have much time until you have to be at work." Did you have to change your clothes before you went to work?
No, my work clothes were in the locker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Didn't you have a locker next to your neighbor?
I didn't. I was on the second floor, and he was on the first floor. And all of a sudden, he had a big ass business to come up on the second floor and take a locker next to me. That stupid Belinsky.
Why would he do that?
I don't know. Then he'd take his socks off and shake them.
Shake off what, the sweat?
Yeah.
And did you think he did that purposely to annoy you?
No, that's the way Polacks work.
So he didn't have no manners, a guy.
Yeah.
But so, as much as he probably knew you didn't care for him, he got a locker reassigned next to yours.
Yeah, but I mean, he was downstairs for years. Why did he move up?
Did he try?
And then I had a shower with him and everything else.
Did he try to talk to you at all? Or
Huh?
Did he try to become your friend? Was that it?
No.
Did he have an accent?
Oh, yeah.
What was it? Polish accent?
Polak accent.
Was there many Polish people at your plant?
Polish and Italian, German.
Did most Italian workers at the mill have an Italian accent?
Have an accent?
Yeah.
Most of them, yeah, because they talk the language at home.
And what did your father tell you?
He said, we're going to talk American. We're American here. We're not talking Russian. We're not talking British. We're talking Russian. We're talking American.
And that's why you have no accent today, right?
No, we talk American.
That's why you have no accent today. All right, let's see where the hell we're at here. "Let's just drive around for a while," she answered. "We really don't have much time until you have to go to work."
She was real vindictive because she didn't want to get hooked up with me. She didn't want to be a mill wife like her mother did.
So she didn't like that her mother and father were factory workers.
What?
That Rose didn't like the idea that her father was a factory worker and she did not want to marry one. Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, she didn't. She got married. The guy in the office, they took off, they never seen him again.
Never heard.
Yeah. And he had a 2-bit office job.
Oh, yeah, probably so. Because the guys at the mill actually made more money, right? Because
Well, overtime and everything else,
and the guys at the office was simply
They were at 8 o'clock, they got out of the fire, no Saturday or Sunday.
no
work,
overtime or nothing. Yeah.
They had no overtime at all.
So the guys in the mill didn't have the suits and ties, but they were making more money than the office.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's what it was about, making more money.
Well, now if you worked over, your party didn't show up. You got time and a half after 8 hours, and you got free meals and everything else.
Oh, that's great. Okay, let's see, where was I? I thought that too was also strange. She never mentioned my work before, and I was at a loss to understand her newfound behavior. Where areas before in our talks she was defensive, almost to the point of being antagonistic, but now she was subdued and much more.
Yeah, well, she never got to know me for a while, and she thought I was just another Yahoo coming up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but she found out differently, yeah. We talked about my mother, which was shocking to me. It seemed her sister worked in the same department of store of Kresge's my mother did. That's interesting. Her sister worked with your mother in Kresge's. Small world, small town.
Well, let me see now. Her sister worked at Kresge's, yeah.
And she lived upstairs in Rose's house.
Yeah.
Okay. And Rose's sister's husband also worked at Kimberly-Clark.
Yeah.
Okay. Did he have an accent too? Rose's sister's husband. Did he have an accent?
Oh, yeah.
Polish?
They all South Polak at home, yeah.
Okay. I did recall her sister worked there after school. Her sister would mention my mother quite often. That's good. How great a cook she was. Well, your sister's right. Your mother was an unbelievable cook. And Rose agreed with her, as she had eaten at the some store cafeteria on different occasions. So when you went to visit your mother at S.S. Kresge's, she was working a front counter as a cook. Did she make you special
She didn't
meals?
work in front house, she worked down in the basement.
But at times she cooked too.
Yeah.
But did she make you nice special meals?
For me?
Yeah, S.S. Kresge.
No, I don't think I got with milk and pastry or something.
Did you eat that at the front counter?
No, in the back of the milk, in the candy shop.
Okay. Okay. I imagine she did, like Rose's sister said, that she would talk to my mother quite often and how great of a
Oh, Rose's sister's house was a big deal because she worked in the office with the store manager.
Okay.
She's a typical Polak. I never did like her.
3 minutes.
What the hell's a typical Polak?
Huh?
What the hell's a typical Polak?
Well, you see him.
Well, just explain to me briefly
Huh?
what's a typical Polak? What do you mean?
Any typical Polak.
You said that she's a typical.
They've got the culture of a Polak.
I see.
And they run their father, old folks that have come from Europe, from Poland probably, and they picked it up, and that's their life, that's their culture.
Okay.
My mother and father my father was Russian, my mother was Polish,
Yeah.
but we spoke English at home, nothing else.
Yeah, I love that, yeah. This was entirely a new experience for me, talking about my mother to anyone outside my family. The remarkable thing about the whole episode was that I did not mind it a bit, normally you would, and I enjoyed it to a certain extent. I did not feel uneasy or tensed up, but rather almost eager to talk to Rose. Naturally, I mentioned all the good parts regarding my mother and left out all the negative aspects of my mother's had.
Yeah.
A lot of negative aspects should keep you busy, right?
Yeah. Well, my mother wasn't that bad.
No, but jokingly say your mother.
My mother didn't smoke, she didn't drink, she didn't go out.
She'd keep you busy, right?
My father died at 43 and she's a widow the rest of her life.
Did your mother ever marry?
No.
Did your mother ever date?
No.
Did your mother ever smoke?
No.
Did your mother ever drink?
No.
Did your mother ever learn to drive a car?
No what?
Did your mother ever learn to drive a car?
No.
Your mother was a devout Roman Catholic,
Yeah.
and she would say her rosaries every night.
Went to church every day.
Yeah, she did. And your mother's goal in life, when it was her time to go, was on the altar of Our Lady of the Rosary Church, receiving Holy Communion, and she wanted to pass away at that time. But, man plans and God laughs. It didn't work that way. But I remember one time I took your mother to the cemetery so she could say a prayer for your father, and your mother's name was also mentioned on your father's gravestone, and it showed your mother's year she was born. She ordered me to get some masking tape and cover up her year that she was born. Minutes?
1 minute.
And I had to cover up the year your mother was born, which was 1899, and I had a rosary pin of the Virgin Mary in my pocket, and I pinned it right through that masking tape. And who knows, it might still be there today, I don't know. But she didn't want no one to know how old she was. She didn't want no one to know how old she was. Well, that's expected. Most ladies don't. Let's see. So what else do you remember about Rose's sister?
Rose's sister?
Sister, yeah.
The one that worked at the Kresge's?
Yeah.
She thought she was high blood because she worked with the store manager.
Was the store manager a Greek?
Landis?
Yeah.
I think he was, yeah.
Was he a nice guy?
Yeah, he was a nice guy, but he said, John, make sure you get that gum off that roof, floor.
Okay, that's when you worked there part-time.
10
Yeah.
seconds.
Yeah.
I never seen him outside, no.
So what happened? You had to get some type of blowgun and get the gum off? How'd you?
No, it's a putty knife.
A putty knife. And that